Hello everyone, it's Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming. How's everyone doing today? Welcome to my channel and thank you for joining me. I am here playing with my scraps. So I had an idea. Playing with my scraps this morning with Maria on her live on her channel. So I wanted to, use some more scraps. I made a lot of things, but you know how when you make little things, you're using your scraps, but you're not using up a lot of scraps. So I'm using them, but it takes time. So I was going to show you what I made this morning and then make some more things. And I had an idea that maybe it would be a good idea, like one video per week, to work on using my scraps. I mean, I was I had my scraps under control and kind of used them all up at the beginning of the year, and now I'm getting a big pile here. Here's my scrap box. So got quite a few in here, as you can see. Trying to organize them, but not doing too well on that. I mean, it could be worse, right? I'm sure people have more scraps than that, but that's what I've got. So here's what I made this morning. In fact, I need to glue that down right there. I meant to do that before I turned on the camera. But I have some, a while ago, I picked up some, a good while ago, like 3 years ago, I picked up some hot pink cardstock at a thrift store. And it's cardstock, I didn't think that I wouldn't use it, but I haven't used it because it is bright pink. Now that when I got it home, I was like, wow, that is bright. So this week I had pulled out some for a project, and I still didn't use it for that project, but I thought, why don't I cover it with something? Here's the back. The back is white, pretty white. It's old. It's been around for a while. I mean, it was at a thrift store, so it's been around for a while. It's probably starting to even discolor on the back, because it looks kind of like manila, but it's actually white. It was white. So yeah, these I covered with tissue paper, and I kind of Mod Podged them with glue sticks. That's my craft bond. I want to use my glue stick. So I just glued them down, glued tissue paper, scrap tissue paper from my scrap box, glued down pieces, and I kind of just did it with glue stick, kind of like Mod Podging with a glue stick. So I'm just going over it here to make sure everything is glued down, and then I just stressed around the edges. And I don't care if it's not flat or if it has wrinkles, because it's supposed to look old, you know what I mean? And I think that just adds to the old or vintage charm of it, although I do want it to be glued down good. So if there's some that is kind of being temperamental about gluing down, I'll try it again like I am right here. I'll glue it down again, and if it still doesn't want to stay, I'll get maybe my glitter glue out here and try that. And I can even sew around this too, because like this is one solid piece. This is I think the second piece on the bottom here. But anyway, I was just going to show you this. And so this is like a tag, as you can see, long and narrow. There's a hole there. This is a journaling card. I had some Disney tissue paper from my son and daughter-in-law, where they went to Disney World, and they got something in the mail when they registered to go and everything, and they got their you get a bracelet nowadays. Sometimes they do it different ways, but I think this time, a couple of years ago, they got a bracelet and they got this tissue paper in their package, and so she gave it to me, and I was like, oh my goodness, Disney's tissue paper, how special. And so I've been kind of hoarding it because I just had like one piece or one or two pieces, whatever it was. So here's another tissue paper, and then here's some little ones. These also, I think they came out really pretty. I love the bright colors of the tissue paper. And then I started using my cardstock that was in there, and I have a stack of these cutoffs from index cards that I used. Okay, these were white index cards that I had cut up, and then this was the piece from the end. And I saved it, and I put them in a stack over there in my desk drawer, not with my usual scraps. It's before I started my scrap box, and so they were over there. And this morning I keep my ink pads over there too, and I was getting my ink pads out, and I thought, you know, these have been in there for, I mean, literally, I'm not exaggerating, probably for 3 years. And I'm like, I keep saying every time I open that drawer, I need to get those out and use those. So today I said the same thing, but I did it. I got them out, and now I'm using them. So I made these right here. They're little, just on these particular ones here, the index card piece is on the bottom, and then another cardstock piece, and then I had some file folder in my scrap box. Cut that out. All of them are distressed around front and back, the back base piece, and then each individual piece distressed around. And then I have my archival ink, which is coffee colored, and that is what I use to stamp the words here. I got my some words out, and just, you know, went through my words. This one says so bright. This one says relax. So I made several of these. Like this one has rounded corners. Left these squared off. And then this one I said, when I was on a live with Maria, I said, hey, can I stamp on polka dotted scrap, you know, cardstock? And she said, yes, why not? And so I tried it, and it came out, because I wasn't sure if you'd be able to see it. So I tried it. You know, if you've never tried something before and you don't know if it'll work, the only way to find out is, you know, you have to experiment, right? So there it is. It's the index cardstock, polka dot cardstock on top of the green. I like purple and green together, those two colors. And this one, I had dropped it down on I was getting them ready, and I had them down here, and they were every which way, you know, not straight. And I was like, that really looks cute, you know, not straight. So I made some that were not straight, you know. Here's some more. This one's straight. This one says unstoppable. Here's one crooked, every which way, but cute. So these can be like decorations on a page, add to a, you know, collage. They can be a little pocket, you know, they can be a little tuck spot. So this one says so bright. Here's some more relaxes. But I started, you know, I'm using somewhere in the layer, I'm using this index card, either on the bottom or the second layer. So I made all of those. And some of them that I took out of the drawer had, I had already put baker's twine, like a tag. So those I just distressed around. I thought it would be neat to have a little writing spot. I mean, wouldn't that be cute? Just a little mini kind of journaling card writing spot. And it's an index card, so it has lines here that you can write on. It's blank on the back. It's distressed on the back, and you can write on it. But on here in my stamps, I was, you know, as I was finishing these off, you know, I was trying to decide, do I want to put something on here, another layer, or what? You know, I thought it would be nice just to leave it as writing space. So I have this little tiny stamp, which is XOXO, or I have OXOX. I might have put it upside down actually, but it's OXOX. And so, and then down here on that same stamp set, I'll show it to you in a second. It has this little circle, and I saw the envelope. I was like, oh, cute little envelope. But on there it says love note around the circle here. That's what it says in little tiny lettering there, or little tiny words. Love note, a little envelope. And so XOXO I put up here. I thought, wouldn't that be cute? I mean, you can write on it and you can ignore the love note, but you could have a love note on this little tiny tag, right? So those turned out cute. And then as I was finishing working this morning, I had cutoffs from my cutoffs, okay? So I gathered them up and cut them up and made these little tags. These three right here, or four, these three I put little tiny eyelets in, and I still need to work with these and possibly finish these off in some way. I might just distress around and put some little baker's twine on there. This one I put a bigger, I had one of these left. This is some eyelets that I got at a thrift store. There was just a little strip of about 6 or 8. This was the last one, so I put it right there. And these I haven't done anything with yet as far as eyelets, but they don't have to have an eyelet. Here I was getting these ready. I decided to try, I hadn't used any other color as a base, so I decided let's try a different base. Let's try a green base, and then the index card, and then another layer, and see how that comes out. So that's where I'm at. I thought I'd just share this little idea of using up some of your scraps here, and maybe once a week now, since I just, for some reason, this just popped into my head today, do a video on using up my scraps and see if I can actually get caught up with my scrap box here. So I'm going to, let's see, do I have any baker's twine right here? I have all my baker's twine over in a jar on my shelf, so I'm not going to grab that right now. But I can go ahead, see I made bigger holes in these and with my regular hole punch, and these I got my crocodile made smaller holes so I could put some little tiny eyelets. I love those things. So I might not, these have already been distressed. I might not put any more eyelets in there because I like the little, I really like how these came out with the tiny eyelets and the tiny tags, you know. So let me go ahead and just distress these. And so, yeah, this is kind of just a scrap with me, craft with me type of video. So if you know, want to get out your scraps and challenge yourself, or I will put out the challenge, I will challenge you to craft and scrap with me and see, you know, during this time. I'm not sure how long this video will be. I don't want it to be too long, but see if we can together smash some of our scrap box or whatever you keep your scraps in. So and maybe if you know, wouldn't mind, if you have a new idea, like, oh, I thought of this new idea of using up my scraps today, I did whatever, and let me know in the comments, you know. Or maybe you have a question. Maybe you want me to show a way of, you know, a certain way maybe you've seen, or how did I do this, or how did you do that, you know, how to do that. If you have a question, ask me that in the comments. So I have this little scrap. This is my little scrap of, I like the shape of this too. It's like business card size. Isn't it cute? But I have this I was using to cut up for my, you know, third layer where I was stamping, but these are a little bit bigger. So I'm trying to think, I need to cut this. If I use this, it'll be, it's not the right size. Well, I mean, it could be the right size. Let me see. I'd like it to be a little bit longer though. So I might put another color on here. And so let's just, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this one yet. So let's just leave that. But I have this peach right here too. I have peach. I have file folder with decorated file folder. I mean, just all kinds of stuff there in my scrap box, of course. So let's see if we can cut up some peach on here. You know, it goes with green. So I'm going to cut right here. That looks like a good length for the next layer. And let me see what time it is, and I'll try to tell you how long this is going to be. We've already used up 13 minutes. So let's just say 30 minutes. Let's see what we can do in 30 minutes. So all of those were before the video. Well, it won't really be 30 minutes, will it? Because we're just starting to work right now. So if we want to go for 45 minutes today, then that'll be 30 minutes, about 30 minutes or 32 minutes of purely working on our scraps. Okay, so let's see if we can do this in some kind of organized fashion where we see how many scraps we can use up. So let me get this out of the way really quick so I can move quickly here. So these were already done too. So I'm going to put these out of the way too, so I don't mix them up with what I did today and what I did this morning. This one needs some, but I'm not going to count this one in the 30 minutes. And I'm just saying 30 minutes only because I don't want this video to be an hour long, you know what I mean? Plus I've got other stuff to do, so, and since I cut this one, I'm going to use this for a little measurement here. So I don't want to make pencil marks and then have to erase them, so I'm just going to use this like this. Can you see my cutter okay? I think you can. So I'm going to use this for my little template and just cut a few of these real quick. I only need 3 to fit right here on these, so I'm just going to cut 3 in case I need different sizes for the next group of whatever I make here from my scraps. So let's just work on these real quick. And so what I was doing this morning was, before I glued, these are already glued together, but I haven't distressed around the green yet. The green part, I haven't distressed around these, so let me distress around these. I've got a piece of file folder here that I was using, so I'll put that with that purple. Maybe we'll get those two together. Use up those. I'm going to open up my distress ink so it's readily available here, so I can move as quick as possible and just see. So like, say if I do this every Saturday, we can kind of watch. It would be fun to just watch, like, okay, so of course you're doing projects during the week, or I am, you know. So if you're doing projects during the week, you're going to be adding to your scraps, your scrap box. I'm going to be adding to my scrap box, probably. But what I've been trying to do is, whatever scraps I'm in, which it's hard to use up every scrap that you make from a project, right? But I'm trying very hard to use up as many scraps as I can from a project. So by the time I'm done with a journal or whatever it is I'm making, usually a journal, I don't have too many scraps left. So that's my goal, not to have too many scraps left. So with that in mind, maybe by the end of, my point was, by the, let's see, let's start doing this now. It's the end of March. And if I challenge myself to dedicate 1 video per week, which, we might have to extend it to an hour, but we could start out with 30 minutes to see how many we get done today. Okay, so like if we don't get very much done today, like say, okay, this is going to take some time. We need to just dedicate an hour instead of 30 minutes. So I'm using art glitter glue on these layers. I want them stuck down good, and they're cardstock. So, and I don't want to have to go back and re-glue. So that would take more time, right? So why not just get it down with some good glue? But so then we would just see how many weeks does it actually take, and how many hours, can you get your scraps under control in 30 minutes a week, or an hour a week? Or does it actually take more than that? Will it take, 2 hours a week? I don't know. I think that would be a fun challenge just to see in the end, when I finally catch up with this box, how long it took. Go back and look, like, oh, I started at the end of March. I started the last Saturday in March, and here it is, December 31st, or something like that. Or maybe we'll catch up in 2 months. Maybe in 2 months I'll be caught up, and it will only be what, March, April, May. It'll be the end of May. I don't know. I have no idea how long it will take. So I'm going to try to put my little pin back in here every once in a while to keep that from getting, drying up over the end of that art glitter glue. Okay, so I've got 3 here. I need 3 words. Here's my stamps. I said I would show you. This is a little set that I have with the XOXO and a little love note thing. It has a big XO. So yeah, I can't talk too much, or I won't get, and be showing you. I got to be working to get this done. So here's one that says, This morning I used, what did I use? Unstoppable. Here's one that says Starlight. I used the So Bright this morning. Here's one that says Pure Magic. So let's use a couple of these. These are cute. And I'll open up my ink here, and I'm not using my block. I have it here, but I'm not going to use it. That would take more time, right? My Unstoppable is over here. Let me put that back on here. Try to keep this together. And then, so I'm going to use Starlight right now. I have used this before. I like these stamps. And they have a little stars on here too, right here. And little like stars right here. Could use one of those on here too. So let's put the word on first. And just get some ink. I use it like this. This is just a little easier and faster. So I'm trying to get it straight and in the middle, but if I don't really care, because I like that look of it not being perfect and being, you know, like this was handmade. See, it's not perfect type of thing. So I do want it to try to get my actual stamp to come out nice though, however it is, crooked or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So that one's pretty in the middle and stamped pretty good. I'm just, you know, you don't wiggle it around. You just stamp it straight down and pick it straight back up if you can. That's the only tip I have on stamping. I just try to get a lot of ink on there. And so I have enough ink that comes out on what I'm stamping. So there we go. 3 done. 3 stamped, but I want to put a little star on here too. I think that would be cute. Here's a little star. Let's put a little sparkly star on there. Let's put it, I'm going to make sure I get enough ink on there. I'm going to put it kind of over these over all 3 layers here on the corner. See how that looks. See, cute. Yes, I like that. And I don't have a project in mind for this. It's just I'm using up my scraps. These will be in my stash for when I need something. So there we go. They're squared off right now, all 3 corners. I can round the corners if I want, but I'm not going to do that right now. I think I like it just like this. You know, they're not overly embellished, but they're 3 layers, and I've got 2 stamps on there. Make sure they're all dry. I put them like this so they don't. And I want to make a separate pile here so I don't, so I can show you what we did in about 30 minutes here today. So now we still have a lot of time, about 20 minutes. So I've got these 3 scraps here. I don't know if purple and orange really don't go together exactly, but doesn't mean you can't put them together, right? What about this file folder? How would this look? Kind of busy, but I bet this would look good on here. Kind of a solid on top of a busy, or a busy on top of a solid. Let's see. One thing I wanted to make was some double tags, which this would be good for. I might need a score line on here though to get this folded nice. So let's see. Let me cut this tab off because I need a straight line. And cutting that tag up, this tab off. Put that over there in case we need a tab. I'm getting, got little marks on here already, and my hands aren't even really dirty yet from the Distress ink. Let's see if I can erase that. Okay, just gonna clean that off a little bit. It looks like I got some fingerprints on there from Distress ink or ink, some type of ink. Okay, that looks slightly better. May have to put some paper on there. Okay, so I said I wanted to make a folded tag, which would be approximately like this. So I need to cut this part off down here. Let's see. Boom, boom. So about right there. I have a scoreboard, but I don't want to get it out right now, so I'm going to use in a, a pinch. I've used my, this is not, let's see, where's my little one? My little one has a groove in it, and I have my little one right here. My little one has a groove, more of a groove than this one. This one doesn't really have a groove. This one does have a groove, and I can use this for a scoreboard if I had even something here. I don't even have my bone folder here or anything though, so let me see if I have something. Maybe my scissors. Can we use scissors as a score? We can. Just got to be careful not to cut through, right? Okay. And I might have to cut this again because I probably didn't. It's not even. But that's okay, I'll just cut it off. Okay, I'm going to get a nice even fold here. And then cut that little sliver off. Okay, so we've got a fold. Oh, let me get this out of the way. This over here, I've got a chair over here beside me. Put my extra tools on for the moment. So now I want this to be a tag, so I'm going to cut here. I'm cutting, it's a little uneven here, but I'm cutting anyway. If I need to even it up in a minute, I will. But otherwise, I'm just going to, for the moment, I'm just going to cut the corners off here. Okay, and I've got my crocodile here. Just to make it look like a tag, I'm going to make a little hole here. My big one from my crocodile. In the middle, hopefully. Okay, so little pieces of trash. Okay, so now we have a double tag / journaling card. That sliver is still there, so I'm going to cut that off. Make this even on top. There we go. I don't feel like it really has to be distressed, but it is white. If somebody didn't like that white edge, you could distress it. Let's just distress it just for the heck of it and see if we like it better distressed. I mean, I'm gonna like it if it's distressed, and I would have liked it if it wasn't distressed. I just want to see kind of what it looks like distressed. You know what I mean? So I think I might distress this over here too. I just love folds and creases distressed too. So okay, now like I said, I'm not doing my little strings right now. I don't have them here ready. So later on I might put a string. If I did put a string, I would do two separate probably, because I want this to be able to open. But really I just put the hole just for the looks of it. So there's a tag, a folded tag. We'll use another scrap. Okay, let me put these over to the side here and see what else we want to use up. I was thinking of layering this, but I like it just like that. So I've got these pieces. I'm still, these aren't really, these were in my drawer, so they're scraps, but I need to add them to my, I'm not kind of like not counting them as scraps because I didn't take them from my scrap box, even though they're scraps. So let's see. Okay, so see, I've created another scrap here. Let's see, now this would be good for layering. I want to make some bigger pieces though, because that's the way you're really going to use stuff up. So this one, see how I folded this one this way? I could fold this one this way. Okay, so let me grab my little emergency score pad here. This time I'm going to fold this in half and make a little crease here where I want to start my score, and then go ahead and score this a little bit so that I can get a nice fold here. And if you're not used to scoring things, it's really just so you can get a nice fold. And sometimes how you fold and it kind comes out kind of like wrinkly looking because it's, I don't know why, just the way paper is, especially maybe cardstock. So the fold, you do the score just to get a nice fold, you know. If you're not used to scoring, that's what I like about scoring. You know, you get a nice clean fold, no kind of extra wrinkles or anything there. So somehow I got a little extra little sliver there, so let's just cut that off. And so this was going to be a double tag folded this way. So I like to keep my trash picked up. So let's make our little corners. And I hope you don't mind, I just kind of eyeball my corners. They usually come out pretty even. See, I think that's pretty even. If I don't think they're even, then I'll just trim some more. And then make a little hole. And I have my regular hole punch here, but I kind of like the holes my crocodile makes too. But it doesn't really matter which one, especially if the big hole. This big hole on my crocodile is just a little smaller than the big hole on my regular, the regular hole on my regular hole punch. This one here, whoops, this one right here. It's a little bit, this one's a little bigger than the big hole on the crocodile. If you haven't used the crocodile before, that's why I like the crocodile. It has a different size hole. So there's that. We can just dress around. We can put another layer on here. So I'll do that in just a second. I like it just like this, but let's go ahead and decorate with another layer. That would be pretty on there, so why not use some of my scraps? Trying to get a good like border around this, so I'm going to cut right here. And so it'll be like that. And trying to see if I need any, just take off the white edges, really not to distress it, but I can see when I look at it like this, I can see a white edge right there. So let's just take off the white edge. Really not trying to distress it. Okay, and glue it down. So this will be quite, this is a double layer of cardstock here. So making tags is these bigger tags is a good way to use up your scraps pretty quickly, and then you have a bunch of pretty tags, which can also be used as journaling spots. So I really love, that's probably my favorite thing to do is make tags, I would say. So there's one side, and we have plenty of writing room inside, decorated outside. We can put another scrap on here, this other one that we had sitting here, and this one just needs a little sliver off the side because it's a little bit too wide. So let's do that. Take off our white edges. Real quick. So I hope everyone's having a nice weekend. I went to Walmart today, got just a few things. I just needed some salad fixings, and what else did I need? Some tortillas. What else? I didn't buy very much. Some soup fixings, fresh, fresh ingredients. Everything else I pretty much had. They did not have any TP, and they didn't have any eggs, and they didn't have any wipes. So no luck in that department. Just keeping my eye out in case anybody has any when I go. But I'm only going to Walmart once a week, so I'm not really like, on the hunt for any of that stuff. But if I happen to be there and they happen to have some, I might pick some up, right? So there we go. Pretty tag. Used up all these scraps, which is, It's progress. Okay, so here's another one. So this is the perfect shape for a nice tall tag or bookmark. I can see my end is crooked there, so let's even it up first of all. Okay, I think it might be even now. Okay, I love this color. I don't know what it came from, but I love it. Okay, so decoration from the scraps pile. I've got strips here. I've got, this is packaging. This is really pretty packaging from something. I'm looking for decoration for this. I can leave this back. Oh, here's some pretty scrapbook paper. I could use either side. Oh, look at a flower. Will that fit on here? It will. Okay. So I could cut a piece of this to go layer on here. And so let's get a border and measurement here. I'm going to cut it right there, first of all. I love scrapbook. That's my favorite kind of scraps. Scrapbook paper scraps. And pretty scraps. Sometimes I look in my pile, and because this is a lot of times the first things I use up, and then I look back after I've used up a lot of scraps, and then all I have left is like coffee dyed paper or plain, you know, paper. So I want this in the middle. The length is good. I just need to cut off a little bit on each side here, and while keeping the flower in the middle. I'm going to make a little fold here where I need to cut, I think. Just trying to make sure this is in the middle. I think it is. So I'm going to make a little fold here, and a little fold here, and then I'll cut right there. Well, I'm not going to cut right there. I'm going to cut beside it so that I can have a little border around. So let's do that. And my fold is right here. So I'm going to cut. And you can see, yeah, you can see my cutting over there. Okay. Okay, so cut there. And I don't know if I'll keep that. I should probably keep it, but I might not. Okay, so this one I'm cutting a little bit in also from the fold. And this is a bigger strip, so I will keep this. This is worth keeping. Okay, so now, see, it's going to be a perfect little bookmark. And again, let's take our white edges off. This will look pretty distressed around too, with a brown edge on it. I can see it right now. Can you see that? That is very pretty with the distressed edges on it. This scrapbook paper. It's one, oh, this is two-sided, yeah. Two-sided. I love gluing down one-sided. It's like, ah, perfect. You glue down the white side, right? But sometimes you gotta glue down double-sided too. So here we go. Going to look like that. Do we want to round the corners? That's just what I'm kind of hesitating about. No, I don't think I do. I don't think I do. Okay. I'm going to use some of my quick dry art glitter glue on here. So if you have any questions, don't forget to ask me in the comments. So after this video, I'm going to go do some house cleaning. Saturday is my house cleaning day. Sunday, during the spring and summer, Sunday is my outside work day, where I work on the lawn or on my garden or killing weeds or any of that kind of stuff. So Saturday is inside work, Sunday is outside work. But I also try to have lots of crafting time on both days. So let's see what I have. I don't have my card here today, so I have to use my finger. Okay. You know what? I think I want to round the corners on the outside piece. So where's my corner rounder? So the back is solid, pretty, and the front is decorated like this so far. I think we need some distressing now around this outside. See that brown line? So pretty. I may add something like up here. I just don't know right now. I'm looking at my scraps. Like, I could add a word too. This doesn't have any words on it from my stamps, my rubber stamps. Okay, I'm gonna put my pen back here in my glue. Pen in the glue. There we go. Okay, so a word. Let's see if we have. I have a lot of stamps here. I have a lot of rubber stamps pulled out. Okay, this is the two I've been using this morning. This one I used with the relax on it. Let's see. Where my relax is here somewhere. Okay, so, but I've already used those. Let's see what else we have. What is this? This is one I've never used. It has a little girl on here, little like fairy. I don't know if I want to try to use her right now. I've never used her before. Will she fit on here? She won't really totally fit on here. This one, she's bending over. And so she's a little bit too wide, so that one is out for the moment. I could use the words though. I always believe in the magic that lives in your heart. I'm going to leave that out as an option for the words. Let's see. Here's another girl. These I won, these 3 stamps right here from Julia McNeil, if I remember right. Never used any of them yet. Let's see. She would go into the flowers. She would go into the flowers, so I don't know. I might just, let's see, this is a long one. Those who don't believe in the magic will never find it. That might be cool. Want to try that one? I don't know how. It's a long one. I don't know how it will look, but let's try it. Okay. Oops. Brand new stamp here. So look, it'll be right here. I'll use my coffee color. Just let me take a minute to get this good and inked up here, since I never used it before. I want to get ink all over those little letters and pieces on here. So I just want to press all over it a couple of times on my ink pad, at least, to get it all nice and inky. Okay, I think I might, hopefully I have it all nice and inky. So this comes out as a solid, nice solid print, right? So here we go. It looks like it's inked up. I see brown all over the words. Try to get it right in the middle. Okay. I'm going to press down all over here without moving it, hopefully. I should have used my block for this, but I don't want to. I try not to use my block. That's probably just the opposite thing I should do, but that's just how I roll, right? Okay, it's pretty. It's pretty. Those who don't believe in magic will never find it, it says. Very pretty. I like it. Okay, just the right thing, right? Just the right amount of something. And here's a little star from the other one that I still have sitting here. Let's put a little star on here, up in the corner. think we need a couple of little stars on there. Let's see. There we go. Yep. I like it. Okay, let's see what time it is. We've got, oh, our time is up. Okay, so that was 30 minutes that we worked on things. So let's see. I mean, you know, you don't want to rush too quickly and not do what you want to do, right? So 30 minutes, and we got done this tag folding, these three layers with stamps, this folded one here, and this bookmark. So we used up that amount of scraps. Now I know we have a lot to go, so this is just the beginning of using up my scrap box. So I will get with you next Saturday, and we'll see what we can do. Next Saturday I won't review, and we'll see, maybe take 45 minutes again. Like we took 45 minutes, but the first 15 minutes was review of what I did this morning. So next Saturday, no review, and just solid working on our scraps. And maybe we'll see, like, can we actually get more than this done in 45 minutes? Or do we need a whole hour? So we'll just play it by ear from week to week, and whatever I have time for, or whatever you have time for, you know. So just let me know if you have any ideas on using up scraps. I've watched tons of videos on using up scraps, so if you think of something new that you'd like me to try, I would, you know, I'm pretty much game for trying new things. I love trying new things, so I'm pretty much game for trying anything new. So anyway, thanks for watching today. Have a great rest of the weekend, and I will see you in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe so you can, you know, get notifications of my videos. So see you then, and happy crafting.